Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are here for the Summer House Martha's Vineyard reunion. And what y'all think of it? What did you think of it? I know some of y'all wondering, what is this backdrop? What is this behind me? This is the world behind me. This is what this is. This is Earth. Earth is behind me because the message I'm trying to send to this cast is they need to come back down to earth. They need to come back down to earth. Was it just me, or did you all feel that some of these cast members were starting to get big-headed, starting to believe they were more important and bigger than they really are? I'm getting that feeling already. I don't know if any of y'all watched Married to Medicine. I don't know if you knew what happened with the creator of the show, Mariah Huck, how she was forced out of a show she created by the cast members. I think that's what's trying to go on with Jasmine, because we didn't really get good enough reasons of why this cast is so upset, not only with Jasmine, but now we hear they don't even want Silas to come back, and Silas was another person who helped bring these people on the cast. Wow, with friends like this, why do you need enemies? Isn't that the same? Now, this is what I'm gonna start with. Who do I think is the worst person on the cast? I'm gonna start with who I think is the worst person on the cast. I think it's two of them. I think it's Jordan and I think it's Preston. Unbelievable. You know, I didn't really care too much from Jordan before anyway, so I don't think she was a surprise to me. But let me tell you, the way that Preston has fallen in my eyes from last season, this season is like, you know what it's like? It's like a meteor dropping from Earth. That's what it looks like. He's, Preston, what kind of line brother is he to Silas? What fraternity is Preston with? Aren't they with the Alpha, Phi Alpha? He need to be put back online. Because I don't know what kind of line brother does his line brother. We ain't even talking about fraternity brothers. We talking about a line brother would do your line brother like this. He was in his wedding. And really, what has Preston come up with that he has a problem with Silas? Because of the way that Silas was treating Jasmine. Sure, people didn't like the way that Silas treated Jasmine. But is that the reason why you would not want Silas to come back? And if that's the reason, so you're all mad at Silas because of the way he treated Jasmine, but you don't even really like Jasmine either. It's all a bunch of malarkey. I don't care what reasons these people come out their mouth. It's malarkey. At this moment, the only thing that they have on Jasmine is, let me run it down. They have on Jasmine that what Jasmine did when she came on the show last year, because Jasmine was one of the creators, one of the people who put the show together. What Jasmine tried to do was she tried to create something exciting for the show. She said, oh, you know, this is a reality TV show. It sure would be nice if people hooked up in the house. Jasmine was trying to do that. So what she did was she went to Jordan. Maybe Jordan was offended. Why didn't you go to Shanice? Why didn't you go to Summer? But she went to Jordan and she tried to get Jordan to maybe like one of the guys. This is how Jordan felt. I got it. I even see when it happened. I saw it. I saw it happen. She's like, oh, well, what about Alex? What about Amir? What about this? And what Jordan took offense was that she was hooking her up. First of all, if you're good friends, I wouldn't take offense to that. Okay? Because when Jordan pushed back and said, I don't want you to do it, actually Jasmine stopped. She corrected herself. So it wasn't as if it went on all season long. She did it. She did do it. She said, hey, what about being with this person? Does anyone like anyone in the house? So they felt like Jasmine was trying to like create something in the house. And everybody said, well, let's just let it happen organically. So they didn't like that, what Jasmine did. I got it. They didn't like it. And guess what she did? She stopped. They also didn't like that she didn't handle Mariah's situation with the clothes in the dryer with Bria well. She wasn't quick to send Mariah home. She was fighting for Mariah to stay because Mariah was her good friend. They didn't like that. They didn't like that she didn't do exactly what they wanted her to do. But eventually, you know what she did? She sent Mariah home. She responded. She did respond. She sent her home. But what they didn't like is she didn't do it quick enough. She didn't. She sent what's his name home quick enough. What was the guy's name? She sent him home quick enough. But they also didn't like that when Bria bought the dog initially, and then Bria also bought Simon. That Silas and Jasmine didn't enforce the rules enough there. But guess what? This year Bria brought the dog back. Silas came back, and guess who else? Preston brought his girl, and everybody else brought their girl too. So really what their gripe about Jasmine was that if she was the leader of the house, it's almost like being the boss, right? She didn't make all the moves for being the boss in the house, the moves they wanted her to make. It's almost like, let's say you're friends with someone at work, your coworkers, your buddies at work, but you get promoted. Now you're actually the boss. So all of a sudden you guys were friends. Everything worked out well when you were friends. But once you got promoted, now that person who was your friend, but yet you're their boss, now they got a problem with you. Why you got a problem with me? I'm kind of being the same person. And now you're telling me you give me no grace for growing into this new role. Jasmine was growing into a lot of roles. She was growing into the role of being a wife to a man who was from Africa. Okay. And notoriously African men husband differently. They husband differently than American men. She had to learn that. She had to learn the way that Silas was trying to husband. And what Silas had to know that he was married to an American woman. So he had to learn to husband differently. They had to work that out. She was going through changes being a married woman and a newly married woman. She was going through something different. This was the first time she had a show like this, big like this. She didn't know how to show up on the show. Her friends gave her no mercy whatsoever, no grace. And I understand them being upset last year. What I don't understand, which I know wasn't all about this, is why they were upset all summer long and why they're still upset in second season. Everybody else this season, when we're at this reunion, they're talking about what happened in this season 2, what people did in season 2. Isn't it funny that these folks, all the other people, are talking about what Jasmine did in season 1? What about this season 2? Why aren't we talking about what she did in season 2? Because they don't want to talk about her changes. They don't want to talk about the adjustments she's made. They don't want to talk about the things she's done to change what didn't go right in the house last year. They don't want to talk about that. They want to keep talking about season 1 because the truth of the matter is they want to pull a Mariah Huck on her. They don't want her on the show. They want her off the show. They want her like Mariah Huck off the whole show that she created. And like they said, when Andy Cohen said, how many people miss Silas? Only 2 or 3 people raised their hand. Why? Not even his line brother. And you know why Preston don't like Silas? One is because I'm sure Silas took up for his wife. I'm pretty sure Silas has something to say to Preston when Silas realized that Preston was over there trying to ice out Jasmine with Jordan. And why all of a sudden is Preston so chummy with Jordan? Because he wants to be Jordan. If what Preston says is when he comes back as a woman, the woman he wants to come back is Jordan. Slim, trim, fit, and beautiful. That's who Preston really wants because he's none of that. He ain't a woman, and he ain't slim, he ain't trim, and he ain't handsome. So he said, you know what? In my gay fantasy, if I were a woman, if I came back in drag, if I did anything, I'd come back as Jordan. He idolizes her because Jordan is the manifestation of who he would be if he could be a woman. But he's not. He's not. And this little pettiness he has over Jasmine talking about she's fake, she's phony, that's not true. And even being mad at her because she was so-called hyping up her marriage or telling people what marriage is like or adjusting, that's not true because Preston sat on here and said he's engaged. And what he told the camera was, I can't wait to get my ring so I could go like this. So what, you want to flaunt your marriage too? You want to flaunt your marriage in other people's faces? You just accused Jasmine of basically floating or fanning her marriage in people's faces as if she was high above everybody else in marriage. She never did that. She never did that. She tried to put people together. And in fact, I was so happy that they played the clip once again. Because when she played the clip, when Jasmine and then we're at the store, and she said, I want to help my friend. The only reason I was trying to do matchmaking was because I want to help my friend get what I know she really wants, and that is a lifetime partner. And she went there to Jordan, and she stared in Jordan's face, and she said, Jordan, I know you want a lifetime partner because we've spoken. Isn't that true? She says, yes. And there it is. So all Jasmine was operating off of was not even just because she's trying to create something in the house. She actually was trying to help her friend. Now, is it a way that Jordan wanted to be helped? That's fine. She didn't. But the reason why Jordan didn't want to be helped is because Jordan doesn't want to be looked upon as the charity case. Jordan doesn't want to be looked upon as you got to find me a man. I can get my own man, when the truth is she really can't get her own man. That is the problem with Jordan. This is the problem with the way that Jordan is running around the house. This is why she likes to tell everybody, Nick's hands are all over my body. Everybody wants Jordan. That's what she wants to put in her head. Earth to Jordan, come on down. And then when someone acts off of what they know about you for real, that you really do want a man, you really do want a lifetime partner, and maybe I'll try to hook you up, maybe I will try to match make you, you get offended by it. Because you're offended because what I'm doing is I'm publicizing the very thing about you that you don't want other people to know. See, Jasmine really wants to appear one way. This is why she was mad at Summer for talking about her alopecia. She always talks about people crossing boundaries. This is the way she gets people. You cross boundaries. Nick, you cross boundaries when you touch me. Summer, you cross boundaries with the alopecia. Jasmine, you cross boundaries when you started acting as if you need to hook me up because I really can't find a man, and you're acting like I'm some charity case and you need to help me. Every beef with Jordan, with anyone, is about crossing boundaries. And we know that Preston ain't gonna cross no boundaries because Preston wants to be Jordan. Preston wants to be Jordan. Now we got Jasmine over here. She don't like no one in the house but Preston, the one that wants to be her. Jordan 2.0. She's not getting along with Summer. She's barely getting along with Jasmine. Right? And as Jasmine said, I'm going to check my friend more often. Good. I'm glad she used that language. I thought it was a little strong at first, but I'm okay with it. You know why? Because what Jasmine is realizing she allowed Jordan to do was form the narrative. She allowed Jasmine to keep forming the narrative that Jasmine was untrustworthy, she was fake, and she was phony, and she didn't confront the things that Jordan was saying. And when Jordan was saying those things off camera, like, well, I think this is their first pregnancy, I think this is their baby, it's all undermining, it's all nasty, it's all shade. And what Jasmine said is, I actually can't take the high road with Jordan. The high road is when Jordan was saying all these things, I don't really say nothing. I just keep trying to be her friend because that's what Jordan wants to be. Jordan likes to be in a superior position and all people bow down to Jordan and try to get Jordan's attention. This is what everybody said. Why does Jordan get to pop off and nobody checks her? Entitled. A lot of people have gotten to this with Jordan. Entitled. And the only one that's bowing down to her, Queen Jordan, is Preston. Queen Preston. Because Preston wants to be Jordan. You see it a lot. You see it a lot in these relationships with gay men and straight women. You see the way some of these men idolize these women. You see it on all these reality shows. And let me tell you something. If Jordan and Preston get their wish and they start icing out Jasmine year after year, this show is going to go the same way all these other reality shows are going. And that is no one's going to watch them. Because let me tell you what the audience has spoken. They've spoken about it on Love and Marriage Huntsville. They've spoken about it on Married to Medicine. The Real Housewives franchises across the board are having problems. And you know why? It's because the cast can't get along. The cast can't get along, and then the cast doesn't want to film together. So what's the point of watching the show? All you now have is a bunch of people who don't like each other and who don't want to film together. So therefore, now you know they're only here for the cameras. There's nothing reality about it. You don't want to watch it. You don't want to see people bickering about the same thing over and over again. And here we are in season 2, still bickering about what Jasmine did in season 1. They're not over it. So are we going to go next season? And are we still going to be talking about what Jasmine did in season 1? This franchise will be killed. It will be destroyed. What these Real House franchise need to start doing is when they start getting people on the show, and this was called housemates, who have so much animosity towards another cast member that you don't want to talk to them and you don't want to film with them, you need to go. You need to go. So when I was saying that people need to leave this show needs to be all married or all single, this is what I believe now. I believe that if a sit down needs to happen with Preston and Jordan, and if all these people cannot squash their beefs, if they cannot have fun with each other, if they cannot enjoy each other's company and have an organic 15 days in Martha's Vineyard, they need to leave. They need to leave. Just like on the job. If Jasmine is the boss and I have an employee and I'm the boss and somebody's mad because I got promoted and now I'm their boss and now they've decided they can't work with the group now anymore, they don't want to work with the group anymore because they're upset with the way things are happening, then you need to go. I'm not leaving. I will manage you out of the job. That's exactly what I will do. Preston and Jordan need to come back down to earth. They think they running things. Come back down to earth, just like this backdrop, come back down to earth because they're not running things. And I really do hope that Andy Cohen and everybody in charge sees what's going on with Jasmine, sees this as a Mariah Huq situation 2.0, and please do not let them run her up out of this job and put her in the back office like some executive producer with credits and nothing else. And Silas needs to be able to come back if he wants to. If he don't want to come back, that's fine. Because what is your beef with Silas? The fact that he was treating the wife the way we didn't want him to treat the wife. We all saw that. We didn't like it. But that ain't no reason to ice a man out of a whole television show. Absolutely not. In fact, that would make for good TV. Let him come back. Y'all can have conversations about it. But for you to decide you don't want him back, that's why I know it's fake and phony. These folks, Preston and Jordan, want to be the two queens lording over this show. So if anybody shouldn't come back, it should be Preston. If Preston can't get along, go away. Go away. Go away. The other person that needs to come back down to earth is Noelle. Girl, you mad at Summer? Once again, now what you've had to do is you've had to craft a whole narrative around Summer. That the reason you're so mad at Summer is because she pushed you. Summer was running away from you. Summer didn't run in your direction and strike you. She was running away from you, trying to get away from all of you. You grabbed her and she pushed you away. That's quite a bit different than when she walked over, a person who walks over to you and pushes you. Should she have pushed you in that way? No. But remember, she was trying to leave the room and you grabbed her and she pushed you away. She walked out of the room. She walked out of the house. Noelle, you ran chasing her. So you got the heat. But you're mad at Summer, and you tried to lie during this reunion and act like that Summer never told you. She did. Now, did she never tell you at first? Yes, she didn't. We got it. We all know she didn't tell you at first. And now we find out the reason she didn't tell you is because y'all really weren't that close of friends. So I really do get it. It was an embarrassing situation for Summer. So maybe Summer didn't want to tell her the whole story because she was embarrassed. I get it. But when she finally did tell Noelle, Noelle acts as if she would have done something different with the information. Well, no, because once she got the information, she still did the same old thing. And what she was trying to do was she was trying to silence Summer with the truth. She was trying to tell Summer she's lying. Summer was not lying. Summer told no lies. The camera told no lies. Instead, what Noelle never did take ownership for, accountability, was, why did you still go after a man in which you just said you knew your friend slept with? You gave this whole speech about, I don't go after people, I don't get sloppy seconds. She didn't use that term, but that's it. But the minute you found out you was sloppy seconds, you still did it. But you had nothing to speak of that. Instead, you used your time on the reunion to try to slander Summer and act like she was the biggest liar. You're the biggest liar, Noelle. Noelle to earth. Noelle to earth. We are calling you to earth because if you think the audience didn't get that, Noelle, you wrong. You living somewhere else. You living in space. Because on earth, we all saw what happened. We saw you got the information And even once you got the information, you did nothing differently. And Alex was right. If Alex wanted to be an F-boy and if he wanted to smash you, he could have. He was right. You was offended by it. You was offended that he said it, but he was absolutely right. If Alex wanted to smash you, he could. Let's be honest. And that's another thing. So Earth to Noel. Noel was another person living up in space. Another person living in space, Amir. Amir still thinks his girlfriend ain't messy. She's messy. She's messy. Earth to Amir, your girlfriend is messy. She don't need to come back. And you need to take responsibility for it, Amir, because you were the one that blew smoke up your girlfriend's ass. You want to walk around, talk about the reason why you tell Natalie all these things is so you can have full disclosure. But what you're really doing is you're also trying to make your girlfriend jealous. Walking around talking about everybody likes you in the house. People's hands linger too long on you. Everybody wants you. This is what you've been telling your girlfriend all this time, so she can really think these women really want you. Nobody in the house wanted you. The one person that you wanted last year was Jordan, and she didn't want you. So what are you talking about, Amir? We find out that the only person that really wanted you was Preston, because he said it. Hey, did nobody else want you, but I might have. Preston, you over here talking about Nick, the way Nick is acting with a girlfriend. You got a whole boyfriend over here and you went around talking about how you want another man. These double standards, I don't know why these people are living up in space where I guess double standards are allowed. On Earth, we call them out. On Earth, we call out the double standards. That's a double standard, Preston. But I guess when you the queen of the house, you and Jordan, you guys can have double standards. Double standards. Amir trying to act like it's no big thing when what Natalie was doing to him, talking about I make more in a month than he makes in a year. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with a woman who makes money. That's not what we asked. We asked, were you okay with what she said? Not that she makes more money. Yeah, who cares if she makes more money? Were you okay with her going around and belittling you that way? But of course, he's in space. No, I don't have no problem with it. Okay, Amir, delusional. He said, well, Shanice wanted to have sex with me. She said, Shanice want to have sex with everybody. Shanice want to show her tatas to everybody. So don't take it as a compliment that Shanice wants to have sex with you, because Shanice also says she wanted to F Nick. And you see where that got him. Now he's broken up with no girlfriend. Amir over here talking about how Nick's eyes wander and he's not that type of person when other people look away. They got ass and titties all in their face, and you trying to talk about that what he should put on is an eye mask. That's what they want him to do. He looked too long. His eyes got too big. He smiled too much. This is petty. This is really petty. And this is petty for women to think that this is reasonable, that you walk around twerking in men's faces, showing tatas. And if he looks at you, now you condemn him. This is so petty. And like I said, a lot of people living up in space, because this is not a reasonable expectation here on Earth. Amir running around here trying to protect his girlfriend, Natalie, not admitting that she was messy, not admitting she was sticking her nose in places she shouldn't, not admitting she was the bone collector, the bone carrier, running around causing more chaos in the house when the house didn't need any more chaos. He didn't even want to admit it. He's up here trying to protect his girlfriend. But I see why Amir and his girlfriend are together, because you know what? They're the same one. They throw rocks and hide their hands. Because if you remember last year, the big kerfuffle over Mariah and Bria was all over this clothes being put in the dryer together. Now, is anyone going to excuse Mariah's behavior? No, we're not going to talk about it. What we are going to talk about is that when the situation was first popping off with the clothes in the dryer, Mariah was right in that at any point in time, Amir could have stepped in and Amir could have threw a little bit of water on the fire that was brewing and said, you know what? Actually, Mariah, I was the one that put the dog clothes in the dryer. And although there still would have been some things Mariah and Bria could have worked out, more than likely it wouldn't have escalated. Because the reason why the issue with Mariah and Bria escalated was because, I believe Mariah thought Bria did it. Bria was like, don't blame me for something I didn't do. And what Amir never did, Amir never stepped in and say, hey, everybody, actually, I was the one that did it. I'm sorry for doing it. And then Mariah could have had her problem with it with Amir, because Mariah was just mad that the clothes were in there with the towels. She would have turned her attention over to Amir. Okay. And then she could have talked about it. And I understand why Mariah was like dog clothes in with towels. One is because who wants to be drying themselves off with dog clothes? Second is, when you have a child at home, you're even more aware of how you wash your clothes for children and how you wash clothes for children. We know that. So Mariah is probably used to running her household a different kind of way because she has a child. She's used to running her laundry different. Now, people who don't have children, maybe they're used to putting everything together. Maybe they don't understand the difference between how you may have to separate children's clothes from other people's clothes. But you know what? Now you know why Amir and Natalie were messy, because even in this moment, the same thing happened again. Once again, Natalie could have stepped in and Amir could have stepped in and even squashed some of this stuff going on with Nick on who was the person who came over and talked to Tasia and why did it happen. But you know what they both did? Both Natalie and Amir shut up. They were both part of the problem. They were both part of how it started, but yet they didn't do anything to squash it. So now all these ladies are all upset at Natalie because Natalie sold something to Tasia and also to Nick, but the women are like, well, we didn't do all this dirty work. We might have done some of it, but we didn't do it all. So welcome to the club, ladies. Welcome to the club. You got assassinated, as they said. Amir, you let us get assassinated when it was really your girlfriend. Well, there you go again. Amir let Mariah get assassinated when it was really him. So do they make a good couple? When they were asking, do these two make a good couple? I think they make an excellent couple because they actually think alike. They actually are on the same page. People who don't make good couples are couples who aren't on the same page. It's not that you don't make a good couple because maybe you don't like a person. People say, well, I don't think he makes a good couple for her because I don't like that guy. But if they are the same people, they actually make a good couple. They'll be on the same page. That's what you want to be with your partner. You want to be on the same page. Even if you Bonnie and Clyde out here doing dirt, at least you're on the same page. And that's Amir and Natalie. They're on the same page. They make a good couple. What's going to happen next year? I don't know, but I think Amir and Natalie can stay away. I think Nick has secured his spot on next season by breaking up with Tasia. They broke up. Sad to see, but they broke up. Tasia, like, I'm done. I knew Tasia didn't fit in there with this group, and I know Nick is going to want to continue to come and be on the show. So that, like Nick said, we were going in two different directions, and we couldn't agree on the direction. And like many of these housewives show, it tears the partners apart. And Nick wanted to come back on the show. He did. Why would he give up this gig? And what Tasia knew was, Tasia knew the show wasn't going to be good for the relationship. The ladies weren't going to want her on the show. And she's not part of this group anyway. So there you go. Professional differences. Professional differences. And then there is the breakup. So Nick has secured his spot on the show coming back next season. And pretty sure that there might be some exploration with whomever, probably Noelle, because Noelle can fake it all she wants that she don't want a man, and I know she does. And now that Nick is new, fresh meat back on the market, there it is. There it is. Alex may not be able to come back because guess what? He's already had issues with all the women, so no woman is going to want him unless they bring on a new, fresh woman, a new, fresh single that Alex can maybe have a possible romantic relationship with. But now we got a few more singles on the show. Do I believe that Silas and Jasmine should come back? Yes, I do. I believe the only people that can come back that are not single are Silas and Jasmine, because I would like to see the dynamics between their relationship. I don't think anything is wrong with that. I think they should be allowed to come back on the show because I think their marriage is interesting. I do. But yeah, Summer doesn't look like she's coming back. They asked her, would you want to have another summer with these people? And she said maybe in small bursts. So I don't know if Summer will end up coming back. Shanice, I'm tired of looking at Shanice's ass and titties. I've seen enough. Shanice really, even this reunion, Shanice didn't bring anything. Sharice is all about drinking, ass, and titties. She really doesn't bring that much more. I'm good with her going away and not coming back too, be honest with you. I really, really am. But that's it, y'all. That was the reunion. Tell me what you think down below, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.